All right, bang, bang. Today is Wednesday. It is September 29th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. We have another free swim for you. It is myself. It is Dante. It is Chief. Right out of the gate, we watched the doc. We forgot to promote it. And then when we had the chance to promote it, I said, don't even promote it because I think this is far and away the worst doc we've watched.
Dante is suspended from recommending docs.
Unless if Dante has like a different perspective, I'd be interested.
So listen, somebody that I value the opinion of DM'd me and said, I got a great doc you guys got to watch. It'll be a great discussion, great episode. And he suggested this Bloods and Crips origin story. Yeah, on Prime. And about, I'd say 20 minutes, half an hour into it, I knew. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you yell at this person?
This? Not yet. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one that was like...
This person, if you value their recommendations, I mean, where do you guys go from here? Where do you guys go from here?
You got to block the number. You can't talk to this guy about anything.
Oh, man. It was a wild ride.
Yeah. And we'll get into it a little bit. Listen, I don't even want to spend too much time on it, to be honest.
We don't need to, but also, who recommends something that's like 8 years old?
The doc was from 2008.
I'm not even
older.
I'm not opposed to that.
I'm not even opposed to being something that old.
Oh, I thought it was new.
Oh
no.
Shit was fucking old.
Before we really get into it, though, most guys obviously have tried different ways to last longer in bed. Thinking about boring documentaries will not help you, folks. Don't do it. Get Roman Swipes because it's clinically proven as a way to last longer in bed. It's effective, easy to use, and it's fast-acting, and it doesn't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipe packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipe out of the packet, let it dry. Swipe it on first. You got to do that. Sorry. Swipe it on, let it dry. And you're good to go. That's it. Go to GetRoman.com/walk, and you can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose the monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/walk. I mean, at this point, you got to be using the swipes. You got to be using it. They have a lot of products available at Walmart. They have the swipes available at Walmart. I actually had a buddy of mine be like, "Hey, I tried the swipe." Like, oh, awesome. How was it? He's like, it's great. It works. I'm like, did you use my promo code? He's like, no, I went to Walmart. I'd appreciate it if you used my promo code.
Promo code would be nice.
Yes, but it's also at Walmart. So either or. Anyways, I don't care. As long as Roman's getting some people to buy the product, I'm happy. So GetRoman.com/walk. Use our promo code if you can. But if not, if you're in a pinch, go to Walmart.
Comes in discreet packaging.
Yep.
So don't worry about like, hey, I put the promo code and then everyone will see it in my mailbox. Nah, discreet packaging.
Yep.
How long do you have to wait?
Rub it on, let it dry, and you're good to go.
So let it dry.
No side effects?
Doesn't even transfer to your partner, so it's pound.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it does not transfer. You got to let it dry. Once it's dried, you just go to town.
Let it dry.
What about afterward? How long does it last?
I mean, I don't know the effects of how long
you think you're just walking around for a week with a numb dick? Is that what you're saying? Nah, I think like once you're going to come eventually, and I think that's when you know it's worn off.
Yes.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay, Bloods and Crips, made in America, 2008, Amazon Prime.
Before we get started, we haven't had an apology yet.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right.
I enjoy doing these. I think we hit a little lull. I just wanted to keep the momentum going. I got this recommendation. Mm-hmm. I sent it away. I looked it up. It was only 90 minutes. Perfect.
That's in our sweet
spot. Yeah. The last one I recommended, the Cocaine Cowboys one, that was like fucking 4 hours.
Yeah.
6-parter, yeah.
Yeah, that was too long. So this one I thought, we could bang it out.
No, I appreciate that. Like, tie your hands, please, because sometimes like that's the worst part. We run into the problem that every couple run into, where it's like, wow, you're just scrolling, you can't find something. So I'm always in for a recommendation. I'll watch it. I don't care.
I mean, the only problem with this one is that it was 90 minutes, but it felt like 7 hours.
Oh my gosh, dude! And to be clear, a lot of important, interesting information in that doc, though. It just wasn't what the title led it on to be.
Right.
I learned little to nothing about the Bloods and the Crips. Little to nothing. I learned pretty much all I learned of where on the California map they're located.
Yeah.
That's about all I learned.
But they're also like, they are a nationwide organization. They didn't touch on that at all.
I don't believe they are. I don't believe they're here.
Sure. Yeah, they're like coast to coast. But
I don't think they're here, though.
so the thing that, I mean, this was obviously very biased. The first half of this was all about civil rights, which definitely played a part in it. I didn't know just how you know how fucked up the 60s were, but I mean, the 60s looked like a miserable time to be alive, if I'm being serious. I mean, if you were part of like the hippie movement, I'm sure it was cool, doing drugs, free sex, all that shit. But if you were like a member of marginalized society, I mean, it sucked.
Yeah. Well, they also, like, that was the thing that I just, like, they didn't even really, I thought they would at least talk about how the gangs formed. And they went from, like, hey, like, we have this during World War II, we have this kind of burgeoning black middle class, but there's still, like, lots of oppression and issues with police. And, like, they, you know, that the old expression, or not even old expression, but called redlining, where it's like, hey, like, you know, you can do whatever you want, but you're not moving to Brentwood. You know, you're going to stay in Inglewood. Like, that's the way it is, and don't cross that. You're in Watts. White people are over here, the black people are there. That's the way it is, and we'll guard that with police, and it's really fucked up. So then they talk about that whole thing in the 50s. Then they get into the Watts riots, which happened in 65, which, you know, started with a routine traffic stop, which shouldn't have been routine, we should say. Like, it was, like, clearly, like, an overreach by the police. And then they had crazy riots. And then from that, it's like you get the Black Panthers and some of these other, like, more organized, anti-war, peaceful, but, like, you know, a tinge of, like, revolutionary, at least that's how they were portrayed. And then they went through the thing where it's like, okay, like, Martin Luther King assassinated, Malcolm X assassinated, this person arrested, like, all the leaders of this kind of African-American revolution were, like, gotten rid of one way or another by the FBI and the CIA, which is really super fucked up.
And I mean, a lot of declassified information showing Hoover was, like, obsessed with taking these groups down. And I mean, was there anybody worse than that guy?
Oh, he was the absolute worst. The absolute worst.
How much did he fuck things up? Like, how it just seems like he set this country back many decades.
I think it reverberates even through to today.
100%.
But the point, what they didn't really do a good job of explaining, in my opinion, is that, like, after this, like, you know, let's call it a dozen people that they highlighted were removed on a national scale. They're like, well, they kind of made it seem like, well, it's a natural progression. Like, after Malcolm X got shot, the Crips are here. And it's like, wait, what? Like, how do you go from, like, this peaceful movement, this
Boy Scouts.
So they showed
they can't get in the Boy Scouts, so they started the Bloods and the Crips. What are we talking about?
I think the thing is they said it was the kids of that generation. So it was the kids that saw their parents and their grandparents just eat shit, deal with oppression, just like, this is the way it is, we got to deal with it. And they were like, well, fuck it, we're not dealing with it. So I thought it was interesting that they didn't view the riots as riots. They viewed it as a rebellion. Like, that was the word they kept using.
Yeah.
And when you use the word revolutionary, they legit looked at themselves as revolutionaries.
Sure. And I think that you could argue in the 60s that, you know, at least legally, if it wasn't necessarily enforced and not, there was a lot of progress made. Like, there was a Civil Rights Act, and there was affirmative action was passed. There were, like, significant anti-segregation bills, you know, that, like, went through the system and actually got passed. Certainly, like, it's something that we're still dealing with now, but, like, they were making progress, doing things within the system, so to speak. And then it's like, I don't know how, like, that was just, to me, it felt like a giant leap to say, well, they were the kids of these people who saw, like, the movement of the 60s, so then they just turned into, like, gangbangers.
Yeah, and I get maybe they had the foundation like that, and, like, okay, they did that for the first half hour, And I was fine with that. Probably could have been shorter. Probably could have been like 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
And then they went back to it with the whole infrastructure and the manufacturing, with Goodyear and Ford and everything, and how they had all these jobs that, were suitable for them. And then, like, it just kept going back. Like, you think, like, all right, now we're going to settle in to how the Bloods, and you just never got there.
Well, and then they're like, well, they credit this guy, his last name is Raymond, I'm blanking on his first name, as being the founder of the Crips. And they spent, of a 90-minute documentary, I think they spent maybe 3 minutes on him, if that. So it's like, I would have liked to have 90 minutes on just that guy.
Right.
And like, even if you're, he's passed, he died at the age of 26. But it would have been nice to be like, okay, like, what was this guy all about?
Yeah.
And how did it become?
Like, oh, he kept it really close to his chest. Like,
They probably didn't
really
show
knows.
it because, like I said, it was so biased. This was like the most rose-colored lens documentary I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It didn't touch on almost any of the negative aspects of these groups.
Well, it's like there was, but even like the famous Ice Cube NWA quote about South Central LA and the gang wars was, the cocaine comes from Colombia and the AKs come from Russia. I don't even have a passport. So explain how that shit gets here unless somebody above us is getting into that. So there, like you referenced earlier, there have been declassified documents from Hoover, from Nixon and Nixon's top aides, where they're like, the war on drugs is really just an excuse to round up African American and the anti-war hippies. Like, they could have gone into a whole thing about that. Like, there's a ton of shit that they could have done to explain how you go from this kind of civil rights where everybody is unified seemingly in the African American community in around Los Angeles, to where it's a blood feud, like where everybody's got weapons and guns and shooting each other, and there's turf wars all over South Central Los Angeles for the entire 80s, starting intensifying in the 80s, and still that way today. So like, how do you, like, they just left out like huge chunks of the stories. And if you wanted to make it like a rose colored, we didn't do anything wrong kind of thing, where you could have gone deeper into like the actual public policy that led or fostered some of these behaviors and this gang movement. But they didn't do any of that. They just fucking sucked at making a documentary.
I can't believe how bad it was.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's fine. I mean, this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, this is going to happen if we continue to do these. It was bound to happen. This was just the first one. It was just stunning. Like, and I think they did talk about the negative effects without really, beating you over the head with it. Because it's pretty negative when you have to go, like, you can't go to the gas station
without
without being checked.
Yeah.
So to speak. Well,
but it's like they traded, and they had the one good line in there. It's like, well, your oppressor used to be, you'd be walking around the streets and the police would come up and harass you.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, like, what are you doing over here? This is not where you're supposed to be. Like, get back to where you belong in your neighborhood. And that's really fucked up. And then I can't remember, one of the guys they interviewed was like, the great trick that was pulled is that they turned us into our own oppressors. So they had the guys in the beginning talking about the civil rights thing. We're like, hey, we're not allowed to go anywhere. And then you had a guy towards the end of the documentary saying like, well, if I'm a wolf and you're a wolf and we're battling, we're at a gas station that's on the border of our turf, and we got to eye each other down and make sure. So it's like, you still have that same effect, right? Where you go to the gas station, or you're going somewhere and you're scared, but instead of being scared of the police, now you're scared of your rival gang. But it's the same sort of feeling regardless of who's doing the oppressing. So that was like an interesting theme that they could have spent more time on, being like, we traded the oppression from the police and the government and society, and then it flipped to where we're oppressed, but we're oppressing like ourselves, and like our rival, like the gangs are oppressing each other. So like that could have been like, oh, okay, like that makes some sense, and that's like, let's explore that more. But they just didn't really do that. But it was like it seemed like they almost did that by accident.
I think we've given the groundwork for a great documentary. If there's someone listening to this,
I'm sure it even exists. I bet you it's out there.
I looked because I'm telling you, I halfway through this was like, this can't be the one this guy recommended to me.
Yeah.
So I searched. I was like, maybe it's on another streaming platform.
Yeah.
Nothing. This was the one, and it stunk. But I'm gonna make it up to you guys.
You have a good one?
I have some good ones that a new one just dropped on Hulu that I think we should watch, and people would eat it up.
Good. I do. The one thing I did think was good was the just a little saying that had it was the slip in part. I found that interesting.
That guy was great.
Yeah, he was very good.
He was a great personality.
You're slipping. Have you ever had someone tell you that? That's a great
Yeah.
When I remember when I was like a pledge in the frat, like I'd always say that you're slipping. I'd be like, oh, like what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And like that guy probably watched that doc because it times up with the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you're slipping, man. You're slipping. Like, oh fuck, what am I doing wrong? You know. But it's just like, you know, he was just fucking with me. Totally different situations, obviously. Before we continue, I want to talk about Upstart for a second. If you're in a situation and you're having a hard time paying off your debt, make sure you look into Upstart, everybody, because they make it an easy, straightforward, and smart process to help you attack this stuff. It's not just a system where they look at one thing. They look at multiple factors, which is really necessary. You know, you just don't want someone to look at a number, and that's what a lot of these places do, but Upstart does not do that. So it's a fast and easy way to pay off your debt, and it's a personal loan that's all done online. Whether you're paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Okay, they look at current employment history, they look at your credit history, and you can check the rate without impacting your credit score within minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000, and you can receive the funds within as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/Eddie. That's upstart.com/Eddie, EDDIE. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Upstart.com/Eddie. Start being smarter about your debt today.
Where the hell was Upstart when I graduated college?
Seriously.
God damn it, man.
Kids today have it so easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
I fell into that credit card trap in college, racked up huge amount, realized I was not getting a $100,000 job, a year job out of school.
Quickly.
The credit card debt just mounted, and I fell into that trap of doing where they lock in your thing, but they hammer your credit.
Yep.
Paid it off in like 12 years, I think. It took me to pay off.
Jesus Christ.
All I needed was Upstart.
Upstart would have saved the day.
That's the biggest, that realization when you graduate and you're like, oh, fuck, it's not as easy as like what? Like I thought I'd be different.
Yeah. Well,
it's tough.
You're not in La La Land anymore.
No,
I also graduated right in the middle of the recession.
That's tough.
That was bad. And then I had one buddy who got a job through like his uncle or something and was like killing it, and the rest of us were like,
fuck you.
We are so fucking poor. And but if we had Upstart, maybe we wouldn't have felt so poor because we could have been able to manage our finances more easily.
All right, I'm about done talking about that, Doc. Are you guys going to see? Are you going to go to the theaters for Many Saints to Newark or no?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I was planning on it. I really wanted to see it at Music Box Theater. I don't know if you've been there before.
I've never been, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's awesome. It's like a very cool venue.
Tango Sir beforehand.
Maybe
it's the most slept on restaurant in the city, in my opinion.
I don't actually
could not agree more.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Okay, a lot of people haven't. It's no reservations. BYOB.
Okay.
So you walk in and it's always a wait. And because the food is so great, it's BYOB, so people fucking love that. So they have like a waiting room where you sit down and there's like wine openers and a table, and everyone just sits in there and gets fucking hammered. And then they seat you like an hour later, you're already buzzed. But they have, Ed, do they still do the dual fillet with the
the last time I was there, probably 3 years ago, and they did.
They have this dish. It's two fillets.
It's crazy.
It's 2 fillets for like $40, and they are fire. Their chimichurri sauce is like one of the best I've had anywhere.
Empanadas are fire.
I love a good empanada.
The food is off the charts.
It's
Doesn't look that expensive.
It's,
No, it's
that's
not.
why I'm saying
It's
it's the
not.
most slept-on restaurant in the city by far.
All right, can we cut this part because now I actually do want to go there, and I hate lines, and I don't want to like.
It doesn't matter. There's always a line.
Is this a place where
I mean, it's very popular. I don't want
Yeah.
to say
No,
it.
great
Okay.
date spot. Great
Okay.
great guys' night out spot. But yeah, the theater next to that is great. I haven't been there in so long.
Yeah.
You're
Music
right.
box?
It's awesome.
It's
spot.
awesome. Yeah,
It's like old school.
very. It's
vintage.
100 years old.
Do you still go much anymore to the theater?
Yeah, man. When
I love
they
the
shut
theater.
down that AMC Pass thing, it was such a kick.
The
in
movie
nuts to
pass?
me. Oh, that was.
Well,
like
they
my
do have the
jam.
AMC pass. I have the AMC pass.
I know,
now.
but there's like no movies in the theaters anymore.
Yeah.
I-
Well,
Put
they
'em all
are,
out
but
on-
they're crossed over.
I know. So the reason I want to see Saints of Newark in the theater is that's a real
Yeah.
movie. That's not something you sit on your couch and,
No.
I
and
agree.
pause to get up to go to the bathroom. And
That's why I saw Irishman the first. I think the day it came out, and it was only at like landmarks, and there's like one in Highland Park. There's like 3 in Chicagoland.
those are
area.
nice theaters.
Yeah, they're nice. I think Cuban owns them.
Yeah, I do too.
And it was. I couldn't imagine watching that on Netflix. I'm sure you guys did. But
Stunk.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like the theater experience, there's something to that for me at least. So,
Agree.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I bought my tickets for Friday. So,
So it's this week.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Friday.
it's for October 1st. Yeah. So like most of my I love that Music Box Theater. Then the one that was most convenient for me was over on Clybourne.
The Webster.
the ArcLight
Oh yeah,
shut
yeah.
down. That whole
Oh, did it really? The one
Yeah.
by
In the new
Joe's over
city?
there?
yeah, New City over by Joe. Yes,
Yeah,
and they had
yeah,
the bowling alley and the yard. It was like a yard house, like a
Great.
Oh,
Leather
damn.
seats.
yes.
They waited on you.
It was awesome.
Yeah, no one was ever there.
No one was ever there.
I know. That was a
Probably
great
why,
spot.
which is probably why it's permanently closed. Like they were a casualty of COVID, and they just mailed it in.
Oh, that sucks.
But that
a
was
good
a great spot. So those are like my 2 favorite theaters. That and Music Box. Music Box doesn't really play too many like new movies. So, but this one, because like same thing I thought with The Irishman, that was such like a limited release that they might have been able, like they've done that with some other like there was one that was released on Netflix, but they would show it there basically just so. I don't know if it's still a rule, but you couldn't be up for Oscars if you went directly to streaming
Yeah,
pre-COVID. So I think that's why why The Irishman did that.
correct. Yeah,
And then
You're right.
I think and then there was another one that I saw there. It's with a guy. I'm so bad with Hollywood names, but the guy who used to be in the military, and he was like Darth Vader in one of the newer Star Wars.
You know what?
Adam Driver.
Yes, Adam
Okay.
Driver. So he was in there when he was like, it was about this couple
Harry.
that gets divorced, and it was like, oh my god,
Wait, he was in the fucking military?
yeah, almost positive, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was a Marine, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Really?
I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
I like him even more now.
enlisted in the United States Marine Corps not long after the September 11th attacks, where he served for almost 3 years as an 81 millimeter mortar man. He was
Holy
medically
shit.
discharged, however, before being shipped to Iraq. So
He's a good actor. I thought he was like a lifelong theater kid.
I mean,
The
he
fuck,
could-
he was a fucking
could-
Marine?
could be
Yeah.
both, yeah.
That's
But
Like
awesome.
yeah.
37 too.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
Chief and Harry are the only ones that knew that, apparently.
Yeah.
apparently.
Wow.
I didn't really know it because I can't even think of the guy's name. But I saw that there, same thing. So I was hoping Many Saints in Newark would be at Music Box. Is that you Tango Sir plus that?
it there?
It's not.
No.
So I will be seeing it in the theater too. I've already looked. I haven't bought the tickets yet, but there's still seats available at the other theater, which I will not say for Friday.
Ed,
Yeah.
is that a Thursday midnight release?
No,
or is that
it
a
wasn't.
Friday?
I was upset about that too because I would have done that for sure. But
You're
it's not.
crazy.
It was only Friday. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know when it drops on HBO, but
Same day.
I hope it's not something where people are going to be rushing to like post shit on Twitter. I might have to avoid Twitter Friday.
There's matinees on Friday.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah,
I know
like
that.
You can go at 12:30.
I guess I'm just not going to go on Twitter on
Yeah,
Friday.
stay off.
Yeah, right.
Who you going with? Bocce Boys?
Couple buddies, yeah.
Nice.
Couple buddies. No, I'm excited for it. It's what Rico. I mean, I don't know if you listened to the draft on Monday, but he hyped it up to the moon. He was like, they said if you like it, he has a buddy who saw it. He had to sign an NDA,
How do you see it?
I don't know, New York. I'm sure there's a
Premiere,
bunch of
yeah,
premieres
premiered
and
at
shit.
Tribeca. So
Yeah, and he said like if you like Sopranos, it's a 12 out of 10.
jeez,
Really?
that is
Yeah.
a big time hype.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know. You know, hype is tough always.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I told you when I saw the trailer, I was expecting the worst, and I thought they crushed the trailer. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I rolled my eyes when they had James Gandolfini's son as the lead. I'm like, like that's cute, but like let's get a real actor.
Yeah.
You know, but apparently he's very good. So
We'll find out,
Yeah.
right? We'll find out.
12 out of 10 for some people.
What else is going on? What's your? I also started Succession yesterday.
Great show.
If you started yesterday, and you did one episode a day, you would be caught up. by
Didn't you do the
season
same
premiere.
thing with Thrones?
No, I didn't. Clem did that.
Oh, I thought you did one a day for a while.
I was close, but
Okay.
I finished Thrones the day of though. Correct.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
like,
remember that.
I didn't time it that way. I would just like do 3 and then like not do
Gotcha.
some for a couple days, you know. But like I timed it where I finished that day though. Yes.
that
So-
was a great show to binge.
Yeah.
Thrones.
Yeah.
Thrones too, but then Succession. So I actually randomly enough restarted season 1 last night too. Watched the premiere last night, and I realized that I was dating someone else at the time, and she would just like skip ahead, like she would just watch it without me. Just like, oh, I'm on episode 6 now. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just keep watching.
So there's a lot that you missed.
Yeah. So I was like, I feel like I'm like, I know I saw the show, and I definitely saw season 2 like live, but I'm like, oh, I don't remember that scene, you know? So it's like, I'm kind of like I'm seeing season 1 for the first time.
That's one of the rare HBO shows that I feel has gotten better as it's gone on. I
Really?
feel like all the HBO shows start off super hot and then eventually trail off. This show feels like it's just getting better and better.
The number one example of that is The Leftovers, I think. Did you watch that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Could
Did you
not
ever
agree
watch
more.
that?
I watched season 1.
Okay. Perfect.
Started
Perfect.
so hot.
Yeah.
Like the best show.
Yeah.
And
And then it's like, what is going on?
It only
here?
did 3 seasons.
I think they
too,
ran
right?
out. I think they
I
didn't
think
know.
the last season was even like, I think they were 10 episodes
Yeah.
for seasons 1 and 2, and I think season 3 was like 7.
Oh,
They're like,
really?
we just gotta finish this somehow.
they
Dude.
didn't think that one through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and it's the same. It's funny because it's the same creators of the show Lost,
Which the same thing.
which are like, oh fuck, we have to figure out a way to end this. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how it's one of those shows that's become so big and so popular where like people are calling it a must watch, and I feel like there's 2 of those right now. It's that and Yellowstone, and I haven't seen that either.
So I like Yellowstone. I've seen Yellowstone. I've seen Yellowstone all the way through twice, and that shows. I think that season starts up maybe like November 8th, the new season of that. I think Yellowstone is good, but part of it is, for me at least, like the scenery is just so incredible, and like I like.
That's what you told me. You said if it didn't take place there, it would just be
But there's a lot of parallels like between the 2 shows where you have like this super successful family and then it's like one has a media empire, one has a cattle empire. But I think Succession is just objectively, the writing is just, it's a much better show than Yellowstone. But Yellowstone's good, but it's like kind of like a popcorn, like you don't really have to be like locked in.
Okay, that's good to know because remember when Breaking Bad was entering its last season, and I could relate to that because I was kind of too young for Sopranos and The Wire. But remember when Breaking Bad was entering the last season? It's like you got to hop on now. Like this is one of those shows where, and Thrones was the same way. Like you want to watch this last season live.
Yep.
Like that's where like Succession's at for like season 3 already. So.
And I think Succession, it's justified. I think Yellowstone
Is not
It's
there yet.
not. It's not. It's like a very like. It's like a fun, like entertaining. Like it has a couple cliffhangers and like I said, like the vistas, the scenery, the mountains, the cattle. I love Kevin on the record. I love Kevin Costner. Why are you laughing at that? He's a fucking great American actor.
Agreed.
And I could have just ended it at Great American. He's a great American. And but it's just not the same. It's just like Succession's at a whole different level.
Have you guys started Squid Game?
Never even heard of it. What's Squid Game on?
It's pretty much like Hunger Games, but
Another thing I never saw.
it's oh man, great fucking movies,
Okay.
great books too. there's all these people that are in severe debt. First off, it's an Asian show that they subtitle and dub. So I just want to warn you right now, if you're not into that shit,
I loved
Subtitles?
Parasite.
you'll still like it.
Parasite.
Okay, so you'll
Yeah.
like
Parasite
this.
was awesome.
So all these guys, these game show guys go around and round up all these people that are really desperate for money.
Okay.
And they tell them there's going to be this show where you can win like $50 million and get, fix all your problems. The only thing is, you could die. Just people are all like at the end of the rope anyway, so they say fuck it, they join up, and it's basically like Hunger Games.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like a real fucking game show where people are running around killing each other and completing these missions. I read about it a few weeks ago. Ken Jack blogged about it, and I was like,
He's such a fucking weirdo.
I was like, this sounds so fucked. But it came out last week, and it's already one of Netflix's biggest shows
it's a
ever.
Netflix? Really?
Ever.
Say it again. What's the name of it?
Squid Game,
Squid Game.
which is bizarre, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I watched the first episode last night, and I can already tell like I'm gonna be fucking hooked on this show.
Okay.
Squid Game.
I'll
Yeah.
have to give it a look. But Ken
Really?
Jack, I don't want this to come off as Ken Jack slander because I think Ken Jack's great. I love Ken Jack. He's fucking weird with his taste. Like he's like, how many people just sit around like grading and watching and genuinely enjoying like anime films? That's Ken Jack. He just likes the octopus.
Well,
weird.
how many? A lot, Chief.
How
A lot,
many?
dude.
How many here of people our age? You know one other person?
No, but
Right.
But you're right. But
Yeah.
He was on this show before it even came out. Like I
Of
looked up
course he
because I
was.
was like, I might write about this, but
He
top
probably.
trending.
I searched the back end, and of course he blogged it. So I went and looked, and it was like, this show's coming out. You should definitely watch it. It's going to be great. I'm like, how the fuck did he even hear about
I
this?
saw it on like anime message boards probably.
it's number 1 on Netflix trending.
Okay.
Yeah, it's blown up.
But you know what number 5 is? The movie Grown Ups.
So that the Netflix trending thing is such bullshit.
It was one of my grievances.
Do you think? Yeah, do you think?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. We should probably. I see Britney Spears is 3. Should
That's-
probably do that.
So
next week.
there's 2.
Is
I
there?
think we should do
There's
it.
one on Hulu too.
Yeah, they
Okay.
compete against each other. I think we should do a double feature.
That's what they did with Firefest too.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will say that I am aware of the Britney story, but I've just been I don't know, it didn't grab me the way that other like
I just felt like I was too late. Like
Yeah.
once everyone, I had a hard time getting caught up.
Yeah.
I've been all over it, and I will say somebody, and this is for all music media, someone that has been all over it, crushed it, is KFC.
well, yeah,
He is like, he knows every fucking
Right.
nuance and detail from beginning to end.
right, and he is like the best at doing those. Like, I'm sure he's done like 1,000,000 1-minute mans on those. But it's one of the things where it's like kind of what Eddie said. It's just like it's like an avalanche of stuff, and it keep like I'll figure it out later.
But he's so plugged in that he has dissected stuff that her sister has done that 99% of the people had never even gave a second thought to. And then I watched his take on it and was like, this is exactly what happened. He
Nailed it.
figured this out. Yeah.
Damn,
He
All right.
knows-
Well, you know what? I'll declare it now so that people can get a jump start. We're gonna do Britney Spears next week.
let's do it.
Okay.
We doing both?
yeah, let's do both of them.
Yeah, I got to get a Hulu account though.
I'll give you my
Yeah.
password.
Thank you.
Do you have Spotify?
It's generous of you. I don't.
It's free with Spotify.
I don't have Spotify.
Are you an Apple Music guy?
I don't.
What?
No
You
music.
listen to like 8 tracks of like
I use-
Frankie Valli. That's why you don't need any of that shit.
I would if I could.
Yeah, I know you would. Yeah.
I would love fucking a couple 8 tracks of the Jersey Boys. No, I have this other app that's free. You like that?
Sounds like something you would get from Ken Jack.
It's not Napster. It's like a genius app. It aggregates the music from YouTube.
I heard of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like basically like I'll type something in and it'll just play the YouTube and I could able to like lock my phone and still play it through.
So how does, because
Do you,
my
have,
phone,
do you have the ads though?
No, there's no ads.
wait a minute. My phone, if I close it and YouTube's playing it, it stops.
Because it's a third party app. So it plays through. It plays the YouTube.
So
through.
their app is open.
They have the technology to do that.
Ahead.
Should I say the app?
Is it legal?
I mean, it's in the Apple App Store. It's not like I'm not a fucking jailbreaker. I don't know how to do that shit. I'm not going to fucking, you know what I mean?
got
I'm not
some-
taking it to some guy's basement to work on it.
some
That's
Russian-
not gonna happen. No.
You have to put in the
It's
VPN.
called Musi. It's interesting.
Musi.
It's a good
Okay.
app. Yeah.
Spell it.
MUSI. Sorry.
Interesting.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty good. But like, obviously Spotify and Apple Music are better.
So if you want to play a Puff Daddy song from the early 2000s, do you have to listen to
It's got to be
the
on YouTube.
the 2 minute
No.
intro before the song?
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
if whatever YouTube version is, but like, you know, there's so many fucking YouTube versions where it's like a pink screen and it's like, you know, whatever.
Right.
My Boo by Usher. It's
Yes.
like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
And
yes.
it's just like some asshole uploaded it and like it hasn't gotten DCMA'd or
Nice.
DMCA'd or whatever. It's still up there. So it plays through
Nice. That's a fucking great song, by the way.
that. Dude, I've been listening to it a couple weeks lately.
Great
Good
song.
show.
Great song. We're
I'm not going through anything. It's just a good show.
this
Good
just gave me
song.
an idea. We're rolling out featured playlists for like this Barstool music thing, and I want you to do a playlist.
Oh, dude, I've been working on a doo-wop playlist.
Okay, you need to get
Yeah.
it to me. It needs to be at least like 40 songs. Is that,
Okay.
is that
Yeah,
good?
yeah, I
it
can
can
do
be
that.
100, but it has
I
to
can
be
make
at
an
least
oldies
40 songs.
playlist.
Get it to me.
You'll
Write
be
it
able to do
on
for me.
Do it on. You don't have Spotify, so just handwrite it like old school,
All right.
which Rico did, by the way.
No, make him do a CD mixtape.
Yeah, I'll aggregate all the songs. You just get me the songs you want on it, and I'll put it together.
Okay, I have a couple ready to go for my doo-wop.
Amazing.
Can I do like a
My
Yellowstone
oldies.
version?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. By the way, I just fucking heard on Monday this Tyler Childers song.
Which one?
Changed. I Shazammed. I never Shazam, but I Shazammed this song. I'm gonna sound like a fucking idiot to Tyler Childers fans.
I might
'cause
have to
it's
wait,
not
though.
new.
I'm gonna
Tyler
have to wait.
Childers. So it's not Childers, but Childers.
I don't feel like I could drop my playlist in October though. You know,
Why?
I might maybe well like a long release will gain.
See, I feel like
some,
that's a great holiday party.
Yeah, but I feel like Memorial Day is a better time for doo-wop. You know.
I disagree.
We're not waiting till summer.
Well,
This needs
I
to be-
like a long, highly anticipated release.
No, you
so
don't.
that's
Then
not
we're,
coming.
you know what? If you do that, I'm just gonna build the hype.
See, now you guys
right.
sound like people who fuck with vision, and you're fucking with my vision.
Dude, that's a lot. That's like 9 months. All right. You have to whet our appetite. You can do a Rat Pack Christmas playlist.
Yes, do that.
Does that work?
What's
Maybe.
The song is All Yourn.
Oh yeah, that's off his album that came out in 2018.
Unbelievable.
Great song. Maybe
Unbelievable
2019. Yeah. I don't even know if it's top 5 for me for him.
song. Okay, so put together a
Yeah.
list like that for me.
Yep, I will.
Love it.
All right. Thank you guys,
Thanks a
Dante.
lot,
Thank you for
Dante.
nothing. Dante giving us a bad doc and
Own
15 minutes late. Tough day to be the Don.
Hold on.
Tough day.
Suspended. He's suspended from doc recommendations.
The Comcast guy was late, so I was late.
Britney Spears next week. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.